Live. What is up, DCT fam? It is Monday, August 15th, 2022, and it has been a minute since we have had any type of content on this channel. Super pumped to have everybody back, and I am clearly not Asian. Neither is this motherfucker. So let's go ahead and just reintroduce ourselves and what the hell we're doing here. This is going to be a brand new show here in the mornings. We have plenty of guests, plenty of co-hosts, if you will. And
let's get going.
So my name is Brad.
My name is Jaime.
Jaime.
Back in the Bitcoin Pub and DCTV days, I was known as Crypto Meta, and we are resurrecting this channel. I know a lot of OGs are gonna see this come alive. We've rebranded it, but it still continues to follow the same spirit of decentralized TV, which is crypto adoption, which is getting all of us out there and the world to understand what we're building here.
Yeah. I think what I end up bringing to the table is, I come from a traditional investing side. I have my own YouTube channel with a pretty decent following. And so I think it's going to be cool to just kind of have both of those clash together. We're going to be a finance channel of all sorts of things. So I think it would be rare to find somebody who's 100% invested in Bitcoin or in cryptocurrency. So, bringing both of those together and kind of talking about everything that's going on in that particular morning. We're going to make this a daily show from 9 to 10 and see how it goes. We've already got one person chatting in here. So, hey, listen, we got 5 more viewers than I expected to be watching this morning. So that's great. And let's go ahead and bring in some of our other co-hosts. We got Greg here on the team, and then we also got Tam. What's up, people?
What's going on?
Love you, Gundy. So Tam, Gundy's online. Let's go.
Nice.
So tell us a little bit about your history with the Bitcoin Pub and DCTV, Tam. You're an OG yourself.
Sure thing. So my name is Ann Tamperillo. Back on Bitcoin Pub OG days, I had the screen name Tamp, which you see in the lower part of the screen. Been following DCTV, Decentralized Bitcoin Pub, since early 2017, and have done a lot of things since then. One of the most recent things I have done is opened up a retail store in downtown Waco, Texas. That kind of led me to linking back up with some of the OG Bitcoin pubbers like Jaime, Peter, a couple others, Brandon. And I learned about a great facility and opportunity on the East Coast, which I used to live in Raleigh-Durham area. So I love North Carolina, and basically just flew out there and found a spot in the retail aspect of things with, the new resurrected decentralized TV theme and idea. So I've been brought in for community purposes, retail purposes, been in crypto for a long time, had stocks, 401k. I've always had a 401k with all of my, traditional corporate jobs, but found crypto and, been running with it. So I definitely want to talk about, my personal investing with crypto, the more traditional route, anything retail driven, how I earn income like that. Really any topics are good with me. I'm an open book.
Outstanding. And see, that's one of the beautiful things of how we're bringing decentralized TV back. We actually have Brad, who's Own the Chaos. You can follow him online, and we'll put the links below as we go forward. But bringing someone who's an expert in the traditional area and now blending it with OGs, Gundy, and everyone else that will come online from the OGs, it will help us bring that narrative forward to us. Greg, let's find out who you are.
So I'm Greg Chick. Historically a data center operator and leader. I've been with multiple hyperscale data centers, Facebook, Disney, HP, Peter, Jaime, and the team popped my crypto cherry back in January, and so been
It's more fun than the real deal. Sorry, different topic, different day.
So Gundy's in a data center. I'm wondering which one. You said East Coast is the best coast. So I've been all over the East Coast with data centers, now into crypto, have fallen in love with everything involving crypto and what it means and what it can mean to not just my family, but to everybody's family as we develop applications and mining operations, what we hope is across the world, but we know for sure it's going to be across the U.S. At least to start. So love everything about it. It is a complete shift in operations wise versus the data center. So there's a lot of nuances, but I love learning things. I love teaching things. So that's where I want to fit in to the new company, and we're going to be developing blockchain and crypto data center certifications for team members and for the community, and it's all about prosperity for all. That's why we're here, and excited and ready to go.
Yeah, and speaking of prosperity for all, if you guys aren't familiar yet, we are building a new company called Medify. You can see that the logo is there on Greg's hat, and Jaime is wearing a Medify shirt here as well. So that's where Greg kind of comes in as far as that's concerned. We're building a huge Bitcoin mining facility here in the Charlotte area, and it's kind of been an easy transition for you, has it not, Greg? Just the marriage between that data center kind of mentality and just converting everything into mining. It didn't seem like to me, unless you just made it look easy, an easy transition to that from data center to Bitcoin mining.
I'm hoping it's a little of both, but yes, at the end of the day, a miner is no different than a server, or a network switch or any appliance that might be in a data center. It uses power, it needs air, and wants to breathe, and a network connection. So as long as you maintain those, you're up and running and printing money.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
And that's one of the things we really want to invite the community. We're going to post this after the stream into the Katina Discord, Katina community and Discord for Metafam to see, and where we're going to bring everyone together. We do want to build out the entire. So a lot of people are like, okay, what's Metafy about? We see cool cards. We see Peter in there. We see a bunch of these strangers posting. We even see, what was it on Instagram? A little bug crawling.
A sweat bee on somebody's arm. I have no idea what the fuck that was.
Peter.
Hey, as long as it's not a yellow jacket, it's okay.
Jesus. I was like, what am I watching? Somebody was high when they made that post.
So please, community, help us, keep us aligned to the mission. The mission. So let me state that just for everybody, because Tam, you went through that conversation with some friends where, what the hell are you guys doing? What are you building? Right. So that's one of the things that we want to do with the streams and the Metafy community is, of course, our objective is one, prosperity for all. That's our vision. And we'll go into details with Greg down the road, not today, on how we came to that. And please know, it was the entire organization that came to that vision, mediated by Peter pulling that information out. Two, prosperity for all must start at home. We can't teach the world to be prosperous if we're not prosperous ourselves.
Yeah.
So that's what we're developing at the moment and fulfilling that mission. And then how do we do this? How are we going to help the world become prosperous? Sorry about the audio. I'm still learning. This guy's straight.
We'll get it fixed.
So it is through crypto adoption, which was Decentralized TV's mission from the get-go. And we continue that in this next iteration. And in terms of practice, it's by building an ecosystem. Like Greg just mentioned and Tam has mentioned, we're building a wallet, we're building staking, we're building everything to do, and the educational aspect, which is extremely important for our community. So if you have questions, if you'd like to see something appear in our streams, please post it. We are listening because we want to co-build this entire thing with you.
Yeah.
So that's what we're building now.
As far as Peter goes, we killed him. It's no longer with us.
Yeah,
Rest in peace.
it's supposed to. You know that AI they're doing.
Yeah.
What's deep fake?
He's in the metaverse, and that is the only place he lives. No, just kidding. So Peter will be here with us as well. He gave us the I guess ability to run with this concept on DCTV. We actually thought about just coming up with a morning show separate from everything, and then we thought about maybe throwing it in our Medify channel or what have you. But then I had an epiphany. Jaime also was like, "Oh, that's a great idea," and then we talked with Tampa about it too, and then Peter ended up getting on board to just having it here. So every day, every morning, we're going to be having our show between 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time, and just talking about current events. I mean, it seems as if there's always some sort of news that's breaking that we can talk about, not only just on the cryptocurrency side, but also on traditional investing. Things have been absolutely insane, with volatility in Bitcoin in general, but also just the overall stock market. We've seen quite the bear market in the first 6 months here in the S&P 500, and the economy. Obviously, inflation has been a huge topic of discussion. So I think that there are going to be a lot of things to give feedback on and discuss. So I'm really looking forward to it, guys. And from somebody who isn't really in the crypto world as much as you guys are, I'm actually kind of excited to learn from you guys as well.
And keep us straight in terms of whenever we go off the deep end. bro, pull it back.
bro.
Sorry.
No,
Right,
it's all rainbows here. We're good.
All the time. She is a bro. She's a bro.
Beautiful.
So just to kind of keep the conversation going, is there anything in particular that any of you, and anybody can speak up to this, that you're excited to talk about? Is there some specific area, or is it more general for any of you? Is there something that you kind of want to consistently bring to the table?
Yes,
Go ahead, Tam, please.
Yeah, I am a big fan of Bitcoin. That's how I first started in crypto. I started buying up Bitcoin when it was still under $1,000. So Bitcoin is king, and there's reasons for that. It's not just because it's the first proof of work, the network. It does have differences than cryptocurrency that have come after Bitcoin. So I'll always back Bitcoin as king, and it always will have its place. But more recently, I am a big fan of the Cosmos ecosystem. I will go to bat for Cosmos, IBC, and all the things that they are building through the hub network. There's been ups, there's been downs. We can talk about that. I've been a part of both of those ups and downs, and I'm willing to speak about it freely. But there is a lot being built on Cosmos. I am absolutely still a fan of some people who have been demonized in that ecosystem, and I will explain why at later times. But I will go to bat for Cosmos IBC.
I love the fact that we've all been there. We've all jumped into projects that kind of had egg on their face, and others that really flourished. And
how you learn, man, how you learn.
Absolutely. And that's part of this whole experience we're doing with Metapie, is experimenting. Peter's always done that. All of us have witnessed how he, with ICX and all these other projects he's been involved with.
Yeah, that being said, too, anybody who knows back in the day, everything that we've done with the Bitcoin pub, B90X, I've done it. Litecoin, done it. ICX, done it. Helium, I've done it. Bitcoin, we've done everything. So I know me and Jaime especially are speaking from, we have been there. We've walked the walk. We've talked the talk, and we've learned a lot along the way and continue to learn.
And by the way,
profits. Number one lesson, take profits.
That's where dollar cost averaging and other concepts can expand on. Welcome aboard, Scott Block. Another one of our guys.
What up?
Hello. So that's one of the other things is we want to bring all of our experience on board. All of the OGs, please come back. We miss you. And you miss a lot of the shenanigans we've put together in the past. We're going to do long form also. So with Greg, we're going to, and the team at the facility, we're going to start doing R&D and experiments, and we will work with some of the OGs to do live streams also, to work together and explore, bring their experience on board. So Greg and I actually ordered KD boxes from the Cadena chain. We have Nervos from Crypto Cowboy, who sent us examples to work with, and a few others. So
we have our pollens, we got our hive mappers, we've got the dash cams, we've got a lot of things ordered that can't wait to show you the unboxing, and let's experiment and really flesh out these so that you guys can see exactly what is out there. And that's our purpose, is to just broaden everybody's horizon.
absolutely. So community, you're more than welcome to participate, post, and we will be working together. Oh, we got is there
Peter's in the house.
Yeah, I don't know.
We killed him.
I thought we killed him.
Yeah.
He's not alive.
That's a bot.
That's
Yeah,
metaverse.
that's my fault, guys.
It's one of Elon's bots.
That's my fault. I should have double checked that pulse.
Absolutely. So please, we're here to build, guys.
Yeah. It's going to be good. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. I think for me, obviously bringing my piece of it, the traditional investing side, and there's definitely some things that I can bring in that also tie it to cryptocurrency, right? There's been a lot of chatter about Riot lately that I would love to get into a little bit more. And obviously Tesla and Elon's ties to cryptocurrency. I think there's a lot that we can unpack there, but I'm really looking forward to just kind of bringing my side of things into this fold, and then kind of like I said, having them mesh together. So
absolutely,
I'm really looking forward to that. And I think it's going to be good. Specifically because I think, like I had mentioned at the beginning of the show, I think there's a lot of people that don't just solely invest in cryptocurrency. And yeah, you could come here if that's all you wanted, but I think being able to bring it all together just makes a ton of sense. And why not come to one channel to get kind of your one-stop shop of everything finance? So, and
we can consider subjects such as, hey, why is Bitcoin following the NASDAQ or the technology? Yeah,
which has actually been a theme over the last, I would say, year or better than a year, that Bitcoin seems to be following that trend. So we can certainly get into that, because I would actually like to get some perspectives on that as well. And listen, we're not going to just be the four of us. We're going to have other people within the MetaFi community. And then my goal is to also have other guests on, not named Peter Saddington, even though that would be great to have Peter on here, but also more people than just Peter, because he's a busy man. But I think that's actually going to be really fun. I think we could end up having, I would love to have Pomp on here at some point. I know that we could probably have him on and just chat away, because he pops on like small channels all the time. So I don't think it'd be that hard to have him on. So just being able to have more dynamic and have fun with it. Every finance channel that I've ever seen is boring as fuck. And so I'm trying to change that narrative. Like, stocks are boring, and crypto to a certain extent is also boring. So we got to do our best to try to make it fun. And that's what I'm looking forward to doing.
Absolutely.
Not if you get on the right rides, it's not.
Everybody says that making money is not boring. It's boring. Spending the money is not boring.
Yeah.
Yes. And doing it right should be boring also.
Yeah. Right.
On the investments.
Exactly. Yeah. Hodl. Okay, I'm hodling.
What does that mean?
I'm hodling, guys. So yeah, like, making money is not boring, of course, but we still got to make it fun, because it can be monotonous a little bit.
Absolutely.
Look at Scott Blockchain down here was telling people how he got into crypto. He said a friend of his at law school asked him if he knew what Bitcoin was, and the rest is history. So how did you guys get into crypto? I know my story, but I want to hear yours.
Mine was really through Peter. I actually had Peter on my channel, and I had 5,000 subscribers. I was a little tiny guy in the YouTube space, and had him on because I came up with this concept of having a Millionaire Mondays segment. So every Monday I would have a millionaire on my channel, and he ended up being one that somebody in my community suggested I have on. I actually thought that perhaps that it wasn't even going to be likely that I'd have this guy who's got this Bitcoin Lambo even on my channel. And to my surprise, he was pretty responsive. It was like, yeah, sure, I'll come on. And then we talked for like an hour and a half, because we all know how Peter can just chat away. And but it was great. It was like an amazing experience, and he and I connected really well on that. And that's kind of really where I got into crypto the most. So 2016, 2017 is really kind of when I got into it. And I didn't go hard on it. You know, I still had all my stock stuff that I was really kind of diving into and really entrenched into. So the only thing that I actually own is Bitcoin. So I haven't really jumped into much of anything else. But no, that it actually was Peter. So that was actually a kind of a cool story.
Excellent.
So Bitcoin was your first and only purchase? Bitcoin was first?
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's it.
That's it. I don't have anything else.
Excellent.
Okay. We gonna change that, Brad. We're gonna change that.
I know.
Nothing wrong with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's king, but queens are necessary.
I'm a firm believer in not investing things that I don't understand. And so because I guess I've been so immersed in stocks and investing in that side of things, I just never really taken enough time to actually understand anything else. So I'm like, okay, well, I know that Bitcoin's not going anywhere. I'll buy that and add to it every now and then and just
And that's
coast.
the reason why you're one of the best directors on social we could ever get, because you are our audience to bring everyone into this industry. So we're really excited about you engaging with us.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So myself, I got into crypto back in 13. Didn't really, like most of us, I guess, got it, heard it, opened the account, never really did much with it until like 15 on. Through that process, that's where I discovered also the Bitcoin.pub, actually witnessed the purchase of the Lambo and saw the history behind it. DCTV, loved the entire channel. And that's one of the things that inspired me besides investments and understanding blockchain. I took Ivan on text classes back from out of Stockholm. I learned quite a bit from it. And we, with Greg and the team and Medify, we want to build that educational process. We want to start easy for everybody for the adoption to occur. And I was born in Latin America, so I have a leaning towards Latin America in terms of the audience. I was out there for a wedding and realized that unlike Africa, you'll see a lot of experience in Africa where they use a lot of their commerce on mobile phones. In Latin America, there's not that opportunity that you would expect. You'd think a lot of people are transacting bank fiat in some way. No, there is no Venmo, there is no PayPal, there is no easy way of transaction. So Bitcoin is what I want to develop. So I registered Descentralizado TV, which is decentralized TV in Spanish. And that's what we're going to syndicate a lot of this content, where I will translate. So if the community is in here, and I know you Spanish speakers are in here with me, or will be shortly, let's build together so we can have this adoption occurring forward. So that's how I got involved. I did quite a few projects. So my background is I started in software development, realized I'm no good at it. I'm more with people. So I always start in IT, end up in operations in every single facet of my career since my balls dropped at 12. So
Damn, 12.
Yeah, my mom's
It's an early bloomer.
Yeah, Latin America. What's in the water? So we have that build out to do. I did lose my train of thought at this moment, but we will get Latin America on board and on rails to develop.
Cool.
Do you?
I'm back. Sorry, Tam.
No, I was just going to ask, do you have any Salvadorian volcano bonds since you're so Latin American?
I actually went to visit before they issued the bonds.
I love it.
I was born in Guatemala, by the way. My mom's German Irish. My dad's Italian. There's coffee and milk. I got cafe au lait with me, so I'm fully bilingual. I grew up in Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, Chile, and Argentina, and discovered crypto while I was in Dallas. Once I married in Dallas, Texas. So it's been one hell of a ride. I built projects for Peter on the quiet side. So I've always been on the operations side. Finally, now I'm coming out. I rely a lot on Peter and Brad and the team, all of us, to kind of crack that shell open to be able to communicate extemporaneously via stream. So I appreciate you guys. And Temp.
What was your first crypto that you bought, or Bitcoin?
Bitcoin.
It was Bitcoin. Have you bought other ones? Have you bought crypto?
Hell yeah.
Okay, so we do have more to talk about.
Of all the ones I experimented with. So
Fair.
my text man, I'm working on it. I'll get you the
Fair.
soon.
And if nothing else, we will get some Salvadorian volcano bonds. I want to do it just for the process.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll even take a flight out. I'm supposed to fly out there in December.
And for those that might not understand what we're referencing, the president of El Salvador is very pro Bitcoin. He's trying to turn the entire country onto a Bitcoin standard. And one of the ways he is doing that is he is offering bonds, basically, Salvadorian bonds that are, what's the best way, Jaime? They're calling them volcano bonds.
Correct. And what they're doing is geothermal. Nayib Bukele is the guy's name. And he's the one that is building these bonds. So every crypto enthusiast, every crypto DCA, everyone can participate in this build out for using geothermal energy for mining. So that's the goal. So
which is awesome. It's so cool. All the different ways that Bitcoin is being mined these days. Landfills, volcanoes, excess gas from oil fields, Texas. All kinds of stuff, regular energy, lots of different things.
Even I can never say the power plant, but up there in Pennsylvania, Greg and I went up there and witnessed Susquehanna.
Susquehanna.
Yeah.
They're actually mining Bitcoin behind the retail side. So any excess power being generated would usually be wasted. Bitcoin, they're actually optimizing the usage of energy. So it's a lot of, and we'll do long forms on these industry firsts that are.
Oh yeah.
So no, it's an exciting world out there. It's just clearing those misconceptions that dominate the industry itself.
Yeah.
So as I said before, I'm a newbie into crypto. So my first purchase was Bitcoin. It was actually about a month and a half ago by the dip, right? So that was my first Bitcoin.
And then it keeps dipping.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, I'll do an analysis on okay. There's another dip, guys, coming. So this is not the absolute bottom yet. We'll expand on that later. Go ahead, Greg. Sorry.
So that was my first. Peter was gracious enough to provide an HNT miner. So been playing with that a little bit. Jaime doing R&D, making sure that we optimize our signal path, etc. Playing with those, and then some of these new ones that have popped up that we're all scrambling to purchase and be one of the first to get some of these different, like I said earlier, the dash cam and some other things, so that we can get those fired up. And it's been a tremendous amount of fun building with like-minded individuals that have now become family. That's how I've always looked at work. We spend more time together than we do with our family. So why are we not treating each other as family? And so we've had a lot of fun with that and building this community, and can't wait to co-build with some of y'all on the stream and bringing them in. And just the possibilities are endless with what we can do, and excited for that.
Excellent. So we have the Peter bot posting questions also to kind of guide us.
Who has nothing and has no idea what's going on.
Yep. So, listen, I'm not a chart person. None of this is financial advice. This is all 100% for entertainment only. But I am of mind that the bottom has already come in. Yes, we are due for a pullback. I do believe a pullback is coming, but I think the bottom is in.
Yeah, let's take a look at that
But
real quick.
prove me wrong.
I'm gonna bring up Bitcoin right now. Here's your daily chart on Bitcoin, and it kind of makes some sense. I'm starting to lean towards your camp, Tamp. Actually, let's bring us back here.
We're still talking about Bitcoin or
yeah.
talking about, okay, that's fine. Fair enough.
Everyone will understand later.
Mhm.
Everybody gets a little curious every now and then.
Hey. Oh, I could have gone so many places. All right, keep going with the charts.
But as somebody who looks at a chart all of the time, meaning myself, this kind of feels like a potential bottom. We saw it come down to 17,000 and some change, and obviously been doing pretty well since then, well above the 50-day moving average now, and creeping back towards 28,000. That's going to be the interesting parts, because 28,000 right here, to me, we saw this as support several times dating all the way back to the beginning parts of January. You can see that this acted as a support. We saw an amazing bounce, came back down there, tested it again, and then it jumped all the way up to 69,000. Hello. And then rolled all the way back down to 17K and starting to make this way back up. I think that this is going to be a pivotal area at 28,000. If it can't break that resistance, then I think that we could see a little bit of a rollover, something similar to what we saw up here and up here at these peaks. But a break over that 28K, it could be an off to the races type of an event. And so that's just my own perception, just me studying the charts and figuring it all out as far as that's concerned. But I'm kind of leaning towards Tamp's camp a little bit in that regard, just because of what I'm seeing here. So it's kind of like an if-then situation. If it breaks that 28K, cool. We can continue going. If it doesn't, then I think we could see a rollover and potentially see lower numbers than that 17K that we saw earlier in the year.
And I completely agree with you on that assessment. By the way, we always look at probabilities.
Yeah.
This is not crystal ball. This is not anything outside of that. It's always probability. So we have to come to our own judgments. And I'm with you on that. So if we pulled up the monthly levels, I don't know if you can convert it.
Yeah,
right
really easy.
there you go. So on the monthly levels, you'll see that we have that line at 19,911, and those are at the wick, but also at the bodies on this bounce that we just saw.
Yeah.
We have not reached the body, and historically we've never reached the body of the candles as a bottom. So if you were to draw a line at the top of the 2017 market,
right here,
right at the body, not at the
body.
wick, at the top of the
right
there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So that stands at 13,736. That would be the lowest we could reach if we do not cross the 28,000 mark.
Yeah.
So if we cross, and we have other moving averages about to converge at that $28,000. So we not only have where we tested as support in the past on the weekly level, we also have the moving average coming down. I can't quite recall which one it is, but there's two of them converging at that point. August 23rd is going to be an important time period because that's when the price and the time frame merges with that 28,300 level. So either we continue rising till then, and then either we cross it and test that support and move on, or we bounce off of it. We'll see what occurs at that point. But that's, and I'll do a long form today and release it also for our community to review and talk over.
Yeah, gonna be good.
Nice.
So I think. Oh, go ahead, Greg.
No, go ahead.
Oh, so I think fundamentally speaking, that was the chart. Obviously, fundamentally, if Bitcoin continues to follow the trend of the NASDAQ, for example, I think that that's going to be something that is also going to be interesting to watch, because I think that the stock market has bottomed. We're starting to see inflation roll over, and we're starting to see spending come back a little bit, and really demand in general from a macro perspective hasn't really been destroyed all that much. And so for those reasons, and I think that the market has bottomed back in June. And if that's the case, then we could certainly make the argument that Bitcoin may have bottomed as well. because of the trends that it's been following as it relates to NASDAQ and really the tech sector in general. The NASDAQ 100 more specifically is what Bitcoin's kind of been following as of late.
Absolutely. I saw your tweet this weekend on with these earnings reportings. How are we in a bear market?
We're good.
Yeah.
We're actually doing really good. I mean, the earnings have been remarkably good. Obviously, we've seen some slowdowns in certain areas, but one big area that hasn't slowed down whatsoever has been travel. I mean, good luck getting a plane ticket, and if you do, cross your fingers that the flight doesn't get canceled, because it's just been so crazy with demand, and that just kind of speaks to consumers, how much money that they're actually spending out there. We just heard from Disney's earnings report this past week, and they're on absolute fire. And Airbnbs, your bookings.coms and all that, they're all still doing extremely well from an earnings perspective, and they're either raising or maintaining their guidance throughout the rest of the year. So if they don't feel like they're seeing any kind of slowdown, then I think that there's reason to believe that we could see a higher stock market by the end of the year.
There we go. And we'll see as it progresses forward. And by the way, I just saw this. Tam, you didn't say anything.
Is that your birthday?
Why would I say something? Why would I say something?
We love you, Celia.
How are we supposed to know?
You're not.
Happy birthday, Tam.
Hey,
Happy birthday.
we
Happy birthday,
resurrect
young
on my
lady.
birthday. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Keep her
But,
straight. Celia.
Yeah, I'll give y'all a quick rundown on how I got into crypto. My quick story is that I was on a cruise back at the end of 2016, and you know how when you go on cruises, you link up with these random strangers for whatever reason. Well, me and the group that I was with, we linked up with this group of 3 guys, and you could tell they had money. They were somewhere from the Northeast Long Island area. You could tell they had money. So eventually, after multiple cocktails, I finally just came clean with it. I said, "What the hell do you guys do?" They said, "Well, we bought Bitcoin." I said, "You bought what?" I said, "We bought Bitcoin." I said, "What is it?" And they're like, "It's like digital money. Go look it up." And that was it. That was the end of it. All right. So we get home from the cruise, and I'll give you a nugget on this. I used to be a police officer, and I was on administrative leave because I had gotten into a shooting. And part of the whole shooting process is you basically have to have it go to a grand jury to make sure that you did everything right, which I did. I was completely blue-billed, for those of you wondering. Different story for a different day. But when we got home from the cruise, I had all this time. So in the house by myself, I got on the computer. What is Bitcoin? And I started learning, reading. And next thing you know, I said, I'm going to buy one of these things. And at that time, it was 500 and something bucks. So I'm going to buy one of these things. So I bought a Bitcoin, kept learning, reading, found Peter, found a couple other channels that I liked, and learned more and more, and ended up buying more and more Bitcoin. But that's how I got into it. Bitcoin was my first digital currency to buy. And for those of you that don't know, there's Bitcoin and then there's cryptocurrency. You can't say crypto and mean Bitcoin. Bitcoin is Bitcoin, and there are reasons that it's different. So I bought Bitcoin first, and I have bought multiple crypto since, multiple lessons since. But that is how I got in.
Nice. That's awesome.
Excellent. Hey, how'd you buy your first crypto, Greg? Or
Yeah.
Binance.
Nice. Binance US.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well done. Credit card? No, never mind. And
So Peter's saying questions above.
Already dictating the show. We're fucking
Yeah.
39 minutes into this.
So some of your questions, Peter, were answered
Already
at the beginning of
answered.
the stream if
Yeah.
you were watching from the get-go, right?
You know,
So
that
don't be a
happened the other
creeper.
day, Jaime. Remember that? Remember, I think we sent a little something to him saying, well, 1032 is not 1030.
Yeah.
yeah, we'll post that. We'll post
Mhm.
that. We had a very important meeting.
There was a couple that I thought that were worth answering. One of them,
Interest rates that we're asking you.
Scott,
Brandon.
yeah.
Scott was asking that.
where's it
Gonna
at?
address that
Let me find Scott's. Here we go. Nope, that's not that
further
one.
down.
Further down.
Yeah, this Peter
Here we
Bum's
go.
out of control.
I know. Spam. Somebody's spamming the chat. That asks, do you think the Fed will continue to raise rates? How will the markets react to that? I do think the Fed will continue to raise rates. I don't think that they'll continue to raise rates as aggressively as they have been. So if you guys haven't been keeping track, they've raised 75 basis points the last 2 times. We won't see another rate hike from them until September. But I think it's going to be nowhere near a 75. 50 at best. I think we could see 25, especially if CPI numbers from July are CPI numbers for August come in lower than July's. And so, which I do believe we're going to see. I mean, we're seeing commodity prices get slashed in half, essentially. Gas is coming down. So that's all going to play a factor. There's still inflation out there, make no mistake about it, but I don't think it's as bad as it was even just a few months ago. So for those reasons, I do think that we're going to see the Fed lighten up a little bit. But the other thing to consider here is not just interest rates going up, but the shrinking of the balance sheet. And I think that that's what some people are not talking enough about. So the shrinking of the balance sheet is actually going to probably be more impactful than raising those rates moving forward to the end of the year. I think we're shrinking the balance sheet by $250 billion. Anybody can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's around that number each month. So that's going to be huge, and that's going to be super impactful, probably more so than raising rates at this point.
It's so weird that you talk about how if you spend more money than you make, how that's bad for an economy. I will go off on interest rates and big government and everything else. I'm super anti that. I'm very pro small government, very pro leave me alone, me and my money alone. Part of the reason I got into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. But my gosh, government. I mean, it's funny. Brad's right. You know, prices are coming down from all-time highs. Have you tried to buy a house lately? My goodness, a used car lately? I mean, come on. So novel concept, government. How about you spend less than you bring in? That will help.
Yeah. That's a whole other topic for a whole other.
And just pressing the print button doesn't solve everything.
Somebody put some Kahlua in this coffee for me, please, before I get going.
But that was a great question, Scott. I certainly appreciate that one. And so we can get into some of the ones that Peter had asked, just to kind of do a little
search that and
a small recap. Go ahead.
Come back to the Bitcoin. The whole reason Bitcoin exists is as an anti-inflationary tool. Absolutely. Of course, that's the big question is, hey, why is it following NASDAQ? Why is it following technology? Is it risk on like everything else? And that's where we're looking towards the future, where finally the world understands that it is a deflationary asset commodity. There will only be 21 million. And once the world understands that, that's when we should start seeing that divergence coming. But until then, we analyze as best as we can. Go ahead, Brad.
To that point, technology is deflationary as well, which makes sense as to why we're seeing Bitcoin kind of follow a lot of the tech, right? The cloud storage and cloud computing and cloud services are deflationary. And so that makes a lot of sense. So if you guys can draw those comparisons, then maybe that kind of could click a little bit more for you if we're basing it off of that deflationary argument. So good stuff. Peter had asked, how can people get involved? This is one question that we actually hadn't addressed yet, so I thought this was an important one to talk about. So for those of you who caught the beginning of the show, we were talking to you about MetaFi and why DCTV is being reignited. This is a great question. So how can people get involved? Jaime, I'll let you take that one.
Beautiful. So we're going to put links below. We have Discord. We have Katina community, where we're going to put our long form and communications. Katina is going to be it is the Bitcoin Pub 2.0. We're building there. So all you OGs, please join us. We'll put the links right after this post. We will share that on the YouTube also when we release this. There's ways, just like at the Bitcoin.pub, there were so many ways we all got engaged. We all had certain threads that we resonate with. Find it, create it if you don't see it, and we will all participate in co-builds with you. So we have TikTok, of course, all the socials. We'll put all the links there so you can follow us. There's other means possible. We'll always bring it up here. There's a new comment that just popped up.
The Medify.co.
Medify.co is our website. You can come.
Also links to all of our socials through that site. You can also sign up for our newsletter and be the first to know when new things are coming out with Medify.
Thank you, Greg. Perfect.
But a lot of that too is reactionary. That's a big reason we're going to jump on this every single day. Is we want questions, we want ideas, so that we can talk about them here and explain why we are doing things the way that we're doing them. We do it all because of the community. The community gives us every single thing that we internalize and then try to give back. So ask us questions, tell us what you want, and then we can discuss it right here, whether it's mining stuff with Greg, whether it's more, retail and typical consumer based with me, whether it's stock stuff with Brad, and whether it's just general knowledge, especially worldwide knowledge with Jaime. It's a big deal. We'll touch on it, but there's a huge other reason that Bitcoin is so important, and that is direct peer-to-peer transactions. We'll go into that later, but that affects countries outside of the US in a lot of ways that it does not affect us here because we're banked, but we'll get into that. Ask questions, follow us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. And we'll even bring in guests from the OG world.
Absolutely.
If you're willing to speak, we'll bring you on board.
Yeah.
We're co-building all this with you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's yes.
How is tech deflationary? Brad, you mentioned that.
Yeah. So I
Fred?
saw. What's that? Huh?
Continue.
Yeah, Brad mentioned how tech
tech was-
was deflationary, and that's why Bitcoin started following stocks like a tech stock. So what did you mean when you said that?
Technology can be deflationary in a sense of, inflation, CPI gets calculated by a lot of things, and PPI. One of those things is wages. I'm just going to use this as a small example. There's a lot of reasons why tech can be deflationary, but this is one that I think probably a lot of people can understand. If you have a lot of jobs, let's just say in manufacturing, you have to keep those people working to man your factory, to do all the things that you need to do to build things. If you have to continue to raise those wages every year as inflation goes up, that's an incurred cost. If you have technology that now replaces those jobs, then those jobs go away, and then inflation actually ends up coming down because you're not having to spend as much on workers as you are the technology now that you have, say robots, AI, whatever, to run your business. And so that then becomes deflationary. And so that's one of the big reasons why I think that Bitcoin could be following a lot of the tech, especially tech involving, and it's generally tech that it follows, but more specifically cloud computing type stocks, your Amazons, Microsoft, that sort of thing, as well as Snowflake. And so those that's just one small reason why technology is deflationary, but there's so many other ones, but I think that's the one that most people can resonate with.
Excellent.
Makes sense.
Whoever watches the chat can see our Peterbot also contributing onto is deflationary as its output and effects rather than bring deflationary itself.
There's the Webster's version.
And whoever programmed that bot is amazing.
And this guy, yeah.
So lifelike. That's our AI bot. It's learning.
It is.
He's always learning.
Woo.
Absolutely. So other items we would love to see and co-build is the educational aspect with Greg, where we want to build the Peter Bot's so smart.
He asks the questions and answers his own questions, and then he wants us to answer his question.
This is a very relative bot. I don't know. Relative to what?
So on the builds, what
We love you, Peter. It's my birthday. I say what I want. I don't get in trouble today. HR bot.
The other day.
Greg, you're muted.
Again, he just loves talking with that mute button on.
Our technology minor guy is muted.
Yeah.
Well, that's because I'm stuck at the house with some kiddos and they're being a little loud right now. But that's the only time that you're acknowledging your birthday is when you can use it to your advantage. I
Exactly.
Like that. That's
hey, Listen, I'm female as they come. That's grown woman stuff. I do what I want, and then I blame it on you later.
Yeah, 21 again.
So at the facility, so what we're building with Greg is collectively as a group, as Medify, we're co-building with the community the educational aspect of it. As we interact, as we interface with everyone, we all learn, just like we did at the Bitcoin.pub and Decentralized TV with the cohorts also. So we're open to bringing all the team back in, any newcomers coming in to learn and co-build with you. So what we're actively building currently, and that's where Greg and I are fully involved, and now you're living in the area in Charlotte, and Temp, you'll soon be out here, is building the facility itself. A lot of you have seen the teasers out there on what it looks like and how much room we have in there. Inside there, of course, we have the Bitcoin mining room and quite a few crypto chill units and a lot of the technologies we're experimenting with. This whole thing, just like Bitcoin, it's an experiment, but we all understand what this experiment represents to our future, to where we have our own custody of our own value versus trusting someone that can confiscate it. Maybe the bank runs of 1929 are the closest. I don't know if there's been any other bank runs since. So our generation has no clue. My generation in Latin America has experienced bank runs and has experienced where you're like, nope, your money, the money you put in here, it ain't available to you. So it means a lot to everyone outside the US, but now I'm hoping it'll never mean that much in the US, where you can't get a hold of your own assets that you've worked and you've built for your own children and grandchildren. So that's what Bitcoin represents, is that self-control of that value that you've generated over yourself or your previous generations. Go ahead.
We haven't necessarily seen a bank run that you're referencing, but we see it every day. If you want to pull 6 figures from the bank, you better give them notice or you're not going to be able to get it that day. It's not your money to get. You go to ATM, you can only get what, $300 a day, something like that. During COVID, the very beginning of it, I don't know if you remember, people freaked out, started lining up. Banks didn't have enough money. Yeah. So it wasn't an all-out bank run like we've seen in places like Venezuela, Greece, those sort of places. But here, the money in the bank is yours only when times are good, only when things are good. When things go bad, when you think you need your money, it's not yours. It's not yours. And we talk about Bitcoin being a store of value, and there's multiple aspects to it being a store of value.
Absolutely. And even when we saw, you'd think the individual was also left out, but no, even small businesses. Remember when the printing presses began, there were supposed to go a lot of funding to these small businesses, but it turns out the larger enterprises were the ones that were able to collect all this. I have quite a few in Dallas and we all over the place where we've seen where the funds that were supposed to go to these small businesses to survive didn't, never received.
My store didn't get any. I mean,
nobody should be surprised by that.
Right.
I mean, that's how it always works.
And that's what Bitcoin should resolve down the road as it matures, is that value you've built, you control it. No one can take it from you unless you give up the words.
Yeah, we need to tuck that topic in the back of our minds, because I think that is a much longer conversation. Sure. I have a lot about that too.
It is, but are you too late in Bitcoin? No, you're not. You're not too late in Bitcoin. Anything that you want to save, it is a very good option. It's something you should consider, educate yourself, and learn if maybe you should save your money in Bitcoin. Don't look to get rich. Don't do all that. Consider the reasons you should buy Bitcoin. And if your reasons are right, you are never too late to Bitcoin.
And look for
Amen.
Absolutely.
Back in church.
Look at the adoption curve of Bitcoin. You think it's happened. No, you haven't seen anything yet. We're approaching the chasm in terms of the development of Bitcoin as a technology, and we have not hit the true hockey stick. we're only 10 years in, and the internet
Correct.
took quite a while. We're in a lot of churn at the moment, where just like we had the .com implosion, where it seems we're seeing the crypto implosion with the Luna and all these Celsius, all these meltdowns that we're seeing. What's going to come out of this are the ones that are truly building. Like they say, bull markets generate bullshit, bear markets bear fruit, and that's exactly what our mission is. Now, how do you get educated on where we're at, and is it too late? It's just join us. Whatever. We're developing all the socials, of course, where you can get the tidbits, but Discord and Katina, the Bitcoin.pub 2.0, is where you will actually learn quite a bit. And Greg and I and the team, all of us really, and with yourself coming into this industry, we will lay out our experience and how we've come into this, so all layers can speak and participate. And all you co-builders out there, please join us, help us get that crypto adoption out there.
So for me, you can, as Jaime had mentioned earlier, follow me at ownthechaos.com. I'm going to start Own the Chaos on YouTube. You can follow me there. I'm actually going to start my own journey in just from straight unboxing a miner to the entire process. So if you're just as green as I am on that, you can feel free to follow me there. But also we have our Metafy channel. You can go to metafy.co, and we'll be sending out newsletters through there. So we're building a lot of things, and there's a lot of areas that you can grow and learn about this industry in this space.
Absolutely.
I'm going to present a challenge to you on that, Brad. So I understand that we mine. I understand I believe in mining, but I have never done mining myself on a private level intentionally. Why? Because I am of mind that if you just use the money you just spent on miners to buy the coins and you hodl them, then you will be better off. That is my mindset. So I would like a debate on that. If you're going to unbox, do all that, let's take the same amount of money that you take setting up, do that kind of stuff, buy the coins, and let's see after 6 months, a year, whatever we determine, what is better. And we can go back and forth on that, because I think there's legitimacy in both. But my mindset is buy the coins.
I love it.
There we go.
Amazing.
We generated already a lot of good topics that we're going to be able to dive into in the coming weeks. So I'm really looking forward to it. Guys, thanks so much for being a part of the stream and being kind of part of what I wanted to put together as well. And this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. If you guys want to go follow any of us on social media, you're more than welcome to. I am at Own the Chaos on your favorite platform. I'm everywhere. We can also follow Metafy all over the place as well. Jaime, where can they find you?
Metafy_ops is Greg and I. All the operations we're doing at Metafy.
Perfect. Tamp, what about
you? Right now, you can follow my retail social media at wacocbd.com, but we're going to get, other stuff linked to that as well. But wacocbd.com would be the one right now. But the main thing that we can do today, my birthday present, if you'd love to give me one today, follow us. All the links that will be put under the stream, follow us right now. And then please start asking questions or giving us topics you want to learn more about. And do not think anything is too simple, that it's a bad question, that it's too, JV. Don't think any of that. We want from the basics to the intermediate to the hardest questions. And that's why we have the people here that we do. We have the miner, we have the stock guy, we have the international guy, we have the retail people, we have the Peterbot, we have those things. So please ask whatever it is that you want to learn more about or know more about.
Perfect.
And always remember, why are we doing this? Prosperity for all.
Absolutely.
If you don't drink Jack, you're an ass.
Scotch. Brad, you and I are going to debate. Scotch, Balvenie.
There's another topic.
Oh, man. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Guys,
we're going to shovel off the floor first.
Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern time, and we're going to get into some of our first topics. So looking forward to that. And thanks so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe if you're not already, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Huddle.
Let's go.
Bye.